In the last episode, Ken came to say goodbye to Chen Pingan, and then he left with his mother. In the next scene, we see that Ning is sitting on the house, but then Chen Pingan also comes there, and that's why she also comes down from there. Then Chen Pingan asks her, "Didn't you sleep well?" But Ning says it's enough, and then she asks him to come with her. Then we see that Chen Pingan also agreed to this. But then we see that Song Chen Jin comes in front of them, from which Ning's voice begins to tremble, but we see that Chen Jin does not say anything to her, and he gives them aside. Then we see that Chen Pingan looks at her, and says that this official is a little different. But then Ning says to him, while leaving, that he is dangerous, on which Chen Pingan says, "But he seems friendly." Then Ning says that such people consider us as an ant, and they do not leave any chance to crush us. But we see that Chen Pingan does not care much about this. That's why Ning's voice begins to tremble a little. Then we see that Chen Pingan says that I understand the meaning of your words, and we know that they see us as an ant, but still we see that Chen Pingan did not find Song Chen Jin so dangerous, and that's why he says again that he is different. Then Ning asks him that, "How do you know about this?" On which Chen Pingan says that, "Since I have saved your life, that's why my eyes have become very bright." But we see that Ning does not pay attention to this, and she tells him to leave from here. There we see Master Chi, where our old man was doing cleaning work. Then suddenly we see that he starts feeling something strange, and says that this is against the trend, but still, we see that Master Chi does not care about this, and he is still busy playing the game. There we see that Song Chen Jin had come to Song Jiksen's house, who says to him that you do not consider yourself an outsider, and that's why can you tell me who you are? Then Song Chen Jin says that whatever difficulties you have faced here for so many years, they were actually for you, but now you pack your luggage, because we are going to leave from here very soon. Then listening to this, Song Jiksen asks him why is this, after which Song Chen Jin tells him that I am your uncle. And then we see that he sits on the chair in front of him. There we see that Xianyang was lying in one place, and many children were playing there. Then we see that Chen Pingan and Ning also come here, and Chen Pingan gets busy removing water from here. Then we see that many more ladies had come here, after which we see that Jigui also comes here, and he says to Chen Pingan that will you fill water for me too? Then we see that Chen Pingan also agreed for it immediately. But there, we see that a lady is not at all happy with this, and she starts scolding Jigui very badly. Then we see that she also gets angry at Chen Pingan, and says that he also killed his parents. Apart from this, it is not written in his fate to get married, and that's why he is flirting with someone else's maid. But there we see that Ning did not like such things at all. While there, Jigui also starts getting angry with this. Then we see that Ning goes to teach that lady a lesson, but still, Chen Pingan stops her from doing anything. But still, we see that that lady was not taking the name of being quiet at all, and she starts making fun of Jigui and Ning again. But then, we see that Jigui gets angry and beats her. And then she says that I have been tolerating you for a long time. Then we see that that lady also goes to attack her in anger, but Jigui stopped her very easily, and says that, if you ever try to make fun of anyone again, then I will pull your tongue. But still we see that that lady was not getting quiet, and it seems that heaven is not punishing you for this. But then we see that, where someone had come, and there are many guards with him. That's why we see that that lady came in front of Zhang Yang and stood up, and says that you do not need to be afraid. Then we see that that boy crossed them, and then he keeps going from here. There we see that Chen Pingan was going with Ning and Jigui, where he is going to say something, after which Jigui says that you do not need to say thank you to me, because my scolding has nothing to do with you. Then he says that my master had seen about this in the book, and it is said that before the coming of spring, there will be a god in heaven wearing golden armor. Then Chen Pingan says that your master reads a lot of books, but we see that Jigui takes his bucket from him, and then she left from here. But then they see them talking to each other, where Zhang Chun was saying to Zhang Yang that you should not think about outsiders, and that's why I want you to listen to me. But we see that Zhang Yang is not ready to listen to him at all, and says that I do not know what someone did with him, and he started behaving like a lady here today, after which, we see that other people are not able to stop their laughter, and they all start laughing at Zhang Chun. But there we see that Zhang Chun was actually quite upset, because the immortal had caught his friend, and they were beating him very badly there. And that's why we see that Zhang Chun is ready to do anything to convince Zhang Yang, and he kneels down in front of him and says that I beg in front of you. But we still see that Zhang Yang is not ready for this, and he says that I will not sell my armor to you. But after this, we see that Zhang Chun also does not agree for this, and he again says that I beg in front of you for this, and I want you to sell it to me. Then we see that Zhang Yang was also quite confused by this, and he goes to say something to Zhang Chun. But then we see that Chen Pingan comes and stops him, and says that such things are not normal in the real situation, after which Zhang Yang tells Zhang Chun that what is inside it, for which you are ready to do all this in front of me. But then he says that you go and do a negotiation about it, and tell me that I need 200 gold coins for it, after which we see that Zhang Chun was also quite happy with this, and then he starts going from here to talk about it. Then Chen Pingan asks Zhang Yang that have you accepted Master Ruin as your teacher? But then Zhang Yang says that what is the hurry for this, because anyway, I am very hardworking, and that's why it's not so easy to find someone like me. But then, we see that Chen Pingan gets angry with this, After which Zhang Yang tells him that I will go tomorrow. Then he says that I am only fooling Zhang Chun, because as soon as the master will come here, all things will be solved on their own. Then Chen Ping'an tells him that the armor that your grandfather gave you, don't leave it at your house like this. But then Zheng Yang says that you don't worry about it, and we see that he also brought it to show it. Then we see that Ning is surprised to see the pattern made here, and says that this pattern is actually very special, and that's why you never sell them. But then Zhang Yang says that I have not liked this thing since childhood, on which Ning asks him that do you know about this material? Then Zhang Yang says that it must have been made by crushing the stone, after which Chen Ping'an says that there are a lot of patterns on the armor, but in fact, apart from Jigui, no one here likes such stones. Then Ning says that it must have been made by crushing the stone. But then Zhang Yang says that you don't know about its price, and this is actually a snake galley stone, which is completely useless in the eyes of you people. But this thing is actually very expensive for an outsider, and it is so expensive that someone can even risk his life for it. But we see that none of them listens to it, and Chen Ping'an also goes to catch fish from here. There we see that a man named Kui had come to Chen Jin. As soon as Cheng Jin sees him, he is really a pen writer of Guanghu Academy, and then, while using his power, he says that he knows about my location. But we see that Kui says nothing for it, and he says that I am going from here. Then Cheng Jin says to him that let's go to Songmu, and he tells Cheng Jin that after coming back, whatever seat you like, sit on it. But I want you to do your duty well, otherwise even I can't save you. Then we see that Kui starts talking to Cheng Jin about Chen Ping'an, and he says that he also killed Yunxia Mountain's Kai Jinjian. And apart from this, he also injured Nanhua very badly, where Master Qi was actually in the middle. But on this, Cheng Jin says that Master Qi is nothing more than this, and if he was not in any other world, then I would have killed him very easily with just one hand. Then he says that all three religious immortals are actually like Master Qi. The same Master Qi says that a warrior has taken the charge of the country, but actually White Dragon Fish is not that good. There we see that Zhan Yang was again here to kill Zhegui, but then we see that Cheng Jin also sees him, and then he asks that are you the apprentice of Old Man Yao? Then Zhan Yang also answers him that yes, I am the same, but my master had gone to open the dragon kill. Then he said that I have to show many skills. Then Cheng Jin asks him that do you want to go out? Like joining the army or fighting in the battlefield. Then he says that if you survive there for 10 years, then I can also make you a high official. Apart from this, I myself will invite you to celebrate your success, and that's why tell me what you think about it. Then we see that Zhan Yang says thank you to Cheng Jin for this, and then he says that I have agreed to be the apprentice of Master Qi, and that's why I have no regrets about it. Then Cheng Jin also says that no problem, because you will have to wait until you leave the town, after which you can go to Dinyang Pass, and then you find a warrior named Liu Lingxi there, and tell him that Cheng Jin has recommended me to join the army. But even after this, if he does not believe him, then tell him that you are still in debt for the 30,000 silk of the Sui dynasty, after which he will not stop you at all. There we see that Jikin was supposed to go with him, but then suddenly we see that he stops, and he gives some coins to Jigui, and says that you buy good clothes, and now we do not need to collect more money. Then we see that Jigui says something to him in this regard, and then Jixin also leaves from here. Then Zhanyang asks Jigui, what is the relationship between Cheng Jin and Jixin? But we see that Jigui calls him a loser. Then Zhanyang tells him what happened, because he knows about a high official. But even now we see that Jigui does not say anything to him, and says that a loser is a loser. Then we see that Jigui was going somewhere from here, but then we see that Master Qi comes in front of him, and says that after running away from the town, you were not so arrogant. Then he says that this is not a threat, rather, it is just a reminder. But then we see that Jigui keeps getting angry at him, and says that you do not practice what you talk about morality. But I think it's just a joke, because I have been stuck here for more than 3,000 years, and that's why a real dragon is changed into an evil witch. Then he says that now you are asking the evil dragon to be kind, and that's why I don't understand what kind of joke is this. Then he gets angry at Master Qi, and says that you can't even protect yourself, and that's why what will you do to me? Now after saying so much, we see that Jigui starts activating his power, and she was ready to challenge Master Qi. Then Master Qi says that I know that you have pain in your mind, but in fact, you were not given any teaching about such things, and that's why I don't understand why you are doing this. But there we see that Jigui does not know anything about this, and she starts talking to Master Qi about a lot of things while laughing. And then she says that you are talking about teaching, but in fact, I have not felt any peace in the last 3,000 years. Then he says that I don't know what righteousness you are talking about, because although I can see and hear about it, but in fact, I don't understand it. Then Master Qi says that if you don't understand the truth, then it doesn't matter, but at least you should know how to repay kindness. Then he says that I don't understand the truth. Then he says that no matter how long the night of the timely assistant takes, but still, it cannot be forgotten about it. And then he says that, did you forget what happened to you when you were the weakest? Because at that time, Chen Ping'an had saved you, and you slowly absorbed all of his energy, and that's why Master Qi says that you don't even know how to repay kindness. Well, apart from that, you are not even grateful. On which Jigui says that when you are hungry, you have to look for something to eat, and that's why this thing is natural. Then he says that anyway, There is no chance in Chen Pinggan's destiny. That's why if he dies early, then what will happen to him? And this is actually good for him. But then we see that Master Qi tells him to stay quiet in anger, and says that everyone has their own destiny. But I think you still don't understand it, because that ray of hope is actually a gift from the saint. Then he says that you don't say that I have suppressed you for 3,000 years. And then we see that he tries to use more pressure on him, but still we see that Jigui is not going to calm down, and says that I have no worries about your gift. And she immediately comes to attack Master Qi, but then we see that Master Qi had also used his power, and that's why Jigui can't do anything in front of him. Then he says that you didn't do it on the kindness of Chen Pinggan, but at least you shouldn't let him die like this. Then Jigui says that you keep killing each other for survival, and that's why I don't understand that for you. Why did Chen Pinggan's life become so precious? Then we see that Jigui gets ready to use her dragon power, and we see that she came straight to attack Master Qi. But then we see that Master Qi had created a barrier in front of him. That's why Jigui tries a lot to attack him, but still she can't do anything in front of him. But then we see that Master Qi was very angry on him. That's why he immediately starts using his power on him, where we see that Jigui can't do anything in front of him. Then Master Qi uses power and suppress Jigui. Then Master Qi say to her that you need to know how to be respectful to Haven and Earth people. As long as you not break any rules, you will be safe. Then Jigui also understand about this. Then Master Qi say that for improve a gentleman, he have to suffer. Then Master Qi disappear from here. Then we see Chen Pinggan go somewhere where he see a girl who sit on a rock and eating some pastry when he see Chen Ping, and he hide the pastry from him. Then Chen Pinggan say, don't worry, I just come here to catch fish. Then we see that Chen Pinggan went to catch a fish where he is catching fish very easily, but there we see that the girl was also looking at him carefully, and that's why we see that she looks at him closely. Then we see that Chen Pinggan asks him that do you want this? After which we see that the girl also says yes, and that's why Chen Pinggan gives it to all three of his fish, but then he says that I am going to take the next fish from here for my friend, and that's why I will not give it to you. Then we see that the girl talks to give her pastry in return, but then Chen Pinggan says that the pastry is very delicious, but still, it is not as tasty as the fish soup, and that's why I don't need it. Then we see that Chen Pinggan went to catch the fish again, where we see that he was having a lot of trouble this time. But then we see that the master was here with a fairy, and then he says to her that he is the boy. If you like this video, then like and comment on it. And if you are excited for the next episode, then tell us about it.